The 19th May 2024. Last week I wasn't here because I had the family visiting, but now I'm here, and I'm here with Ors as usual.
A good evening and good afternoon.
Right. Today hasn't been a very eventful week. Although something is transpiring right now. Apparently, the Iranian president fell down with his chopper,
Yeah,
and
foreign minister as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The foreign minister and the president in the same goddamn chopper, as if they didn't learn from Kobe.
And apparently they're still looking for him, so he's not being declared dead yet. Although,
Yeah, well,
the Israeli war,
helicopter crashes don't leave a lot of chances for survival.
yeah, that's true. Although there have been some fringe cases, I suppose. Um, but what's interesting is that the Israeli war room has tweeted something very disrespectful.
Yeah, the emoji.
Yeah. Like, I'll hold on. I'll show it to the chat in a bit. So it's very disrespectful. If the opposite was true, if like the situation like this happened in Israel and Iran would have tweeted it, all the journalists would have been like, "Oh, this is so disrespectful, so disrespectful." Oh, but I don't think many people are going to get upset over this tweet.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be pretty bad, and the chat's telling you that you gotta up my volume on your side there, brother.
I was afraid that I accidentally showed the succubus or something. So my side or yours?
Your side, it says.
Mine is at the max. I don't think I can up it more.
Oh, all right. Well,
I mean, is it really that bad? Hold on, let me listen to myself.
that's all right. I upped mine just in case, so I've got a bit of control on it too. So let's keep going.
Um, Ours doesn't need sound. Can't hear him well. Ours is too quiet. No, you're too quiet. I'll up it up. Hold on. I was a little bit surprised by this because I know that my mic is fine. I know that there is a opportunity in the Discord to increase the volume of sound. Oh, there we go. Say something now. Let's see if the chat is going to react positively.
All right, Strat, how's it sounding now?
Right. So we're going to have to wait for like 1 minute until
7 second lag.
I really hate it.
So weird, right? Because it sounds fine when we were chatting before the
Yeah,
stream
yeah,
started.
yeah. Well, it's the thing. Like, a lot of people don't understand. They'll say that you're a boomer or something, but it's like you're not in the chat. You can't really hear until you're live. So, still the same. Okay. You need. I upped your volume even more. You're at max now.
All right, well, if I'm at max, then this should be good. I don't get it, man. Is it still? Okay, Mike Savage says it is still quiet.
Yeah. It's like a voice from another room with a closed door. It sounds like your voice is coming through my microphone. Hold on. This is very demoralizing, you know.
That's so damn weird.
Okay, so it would be under audio input capture.
Oh, there. Apparently it's fixed. Apparently it's fixed now. Apparently it's fixed.
All right. Well, there we go. Um, the voice of God, huh? Right. So this whole thing with the Iranian president, I think you're right. I don't think many people survive helicopter accidents. So
No, especially like when you think about it, right? Once you're about 80 feet in the air, by the time that you're hitting the ground, you're hitting with like something odd like 3,000 pounds of force, right? It's enough to
oh,
shatter your
apparently
skull.
it's broken again. Oh, goodness gracious. This is
What are you doing, me?
I'm absolutely. I swear to God, I'm not touching anything. Um. Okay, try now.
All right.
I don't know.
So let's talk about the helicopter emoji that they dropped inside their Twitter response.
Well, first let's see if the chat can hear you because.
Yep. I'm saying that just to give them something to listen to.
All right, that's smart.
So, it's a hell of a taunt, right? Because you're saying a lot without actually saying anything, and it's easily like hand wave for plausible deniability. It is disrespectful as fuck, though.
They're saying that they still can't hear you, and I generally
don't know what to tell you, V.
yeah I don't know what to do. That's the thing. Like I haven't changed anything since last time. It's literally the same program. It's just all right. Let me try.
Yeah, I understand what the chat is saying. I just listened to your stream, and it sounds like it's coming in through your speakers, almost like my feed isn't going through to your streaming software.
Hi Viadors, hope your day is doing good. No, it's actually really bad. Like right now, it's very demoralizing. I'm doing my best in order to try and fix it.
Hey, what's up, Chris TK? What's up, American Outlier?
Apparently, it was good for 2 seconds.
It's not This Week in Stupid right now. It's This Week in Support.
I don't know if they can hear him, man. Apparently the chat is saying it's good now.
All right. Is it good now?
Oh, there it is. I think the chat
Okay,
is...
apparently it's better now.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well. Yeah. So as you were saying, I don't think that people usually survive falls from that. It seems that it's not even like a foreign intervention type of thing. It's just that they flew through the mist, which is something you should avoid doing with a helicopter.
I'm actually in the process of checking something. All right, so all they would need, if they were anything above, say, 1,500 feet, they would be guaranteed to be hitting terminal velocity. If they're at 80 feet, usually it's enough to break like your legs all the way up to your hips if you land on the ground wrong. And we're talking about falling out of a multi-ton vehicle.
Yeah.
With the Jesus nut holding a goddamn heliotrope, right?
So what,
I don't know,
what
man.
are the
chances of survival aren't high.
What is the actual situation for Iran if they actually lose these people? It's probably not going to change much, is it?
Well, the foreign minister is like whatever. You lose a foreign minister, you might lose a little bit of information regarding like your more forward foreign ops and so on and so forth, and like you might be taking a couple of steps back in like a couple of your international negotiations. But losing the president, that's a problem. Because you're going to have controversy, you're going to have a successorship problem. They're probably, and that even depends if Iran has a solid vice president system, which I don't know enough about Iran's sham presidency to be able to tell you whether or not they have.
I love
to be able to judge whether or not they actually have a system of successorship. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is a question if Israel is going to take advantage, because they're not at war with Iran, but they are very hostile.
Yeah, it's not open war. Like, it's not a de jure war. It's just it's a de facto war.
Kinda. Well, not really. I mean, they haven't sent troops in the area, so...
No, they just regularly shoot missiles that obliterate all surface-to-air missile sites around, like, nuclear project sites and all.
So do you think like they're going to take advantage of this?
Oh, Israel wouldn't wait for that just to do what they would want to Iran anyway. So I wouldn't see Israel changing its stance or even its approach. Like, losing the president for them is just an added bonus, right? Israel will do whatever the fuck it wants with Iran on any given day of the week. They don't really give a damn, right? So. I don't think they showed some
restraint. Like, it's not like it's open conflict. So.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, they show some some restraint being the word in italics here. But I don't know. I don't think it really changes much for Israel to just be like, all right, there's going to be chaos at the top, or the CIC, the whoever's in charge of the military is probably going to be rolling around for a little while. After that, there's just going to be status quo for them. They're just going to keep doing exactly what they have to do. Oh wait,
yeah, they're definitely tweeting helicopter emojis. So
Yeah. So Iran has a VP system, needs to be approved by the supreme leader. Yeah, of course. Though there won't be any change in Iranian politics. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, usually, even in dictatorships, it's an oligarchy. It's not just one man. So,
Yeah, there's the when the head rolls, it doesn't fall far from someone's feet usually.
yeah. Christika, thank you for the 10 Romanian inflated currency. Welcome to This Week in Audio Cell. Yes.
Audio cell.
Audio Cell.
Damn.
All right. Well, let's see what else happens. So, apparently, unprecedented. Google Cloud event wipes out customers' account and its backups. UniSuper, an Australian pension fund that manages 135 billion worth of funds, has more than 500,000 members' entire account wiped out at Google Cloud, including all the backups in the storage service.
Yeah, very like coming from an IT perspective, and having done like hardening and backup strategies and like disaster
Yeah, how the fuck
recovery
does that
and stuff
happen?
like that. That's very strange, right? Because usually when you have like big accounts, and this makes me kind of smile in a sense because there is a part of this that we don't know, which the operating question here is what kind of account did this company have with Google? If they were doing all of this shit and they didn't really purchase the professional or the corporate level account of
There's
like,
no fucking way.
whole-
There's no way they didn't purchase the professional.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. But if they did it and they were just doing domestic shit, then it's like, yeah, you have only a certain amount based on the EULA that they make you agree
Yeah.
to. There's only so much that you can do, right? But if these guys actually had paid for the whole white glove service shit, right? Because it's like certain amount that you pay for the platform as a service.
Mm-hmm.
If they actually had that, that means a lot of things, a lot of fail safes went wrong all at once, one after the other, for that kind of thing to take place.
Do you think it's malicious?
No, I don't. I wouldn't think so. Not unless someone had a specific bone to pick. Because like you'd really have to go out of your way to flag all of that shit by hand. I think it's probably like usually when they do these kinds of account trimming, it happens at such a scale that it's really difficult to comprehend, right? Because we're talking about like whenever they do trash collection for these accounts, there's like hundreds of thousands of accounts that are open every single day for all sorts of like spam use or irregular use or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Now, they handle these things through what's called an ETL, an extract, transfer, and load process, which handles like this whole techie, nerdy integration in the background. All that needs for something like that to go wrong is someone like manually edits a file and fucks up a number somewhere. Like doesn't realize as he's tabbing through the transfer file that his cat.
If
jumped
you
on
were
his
the
fucking
guy that
keyboard,
fucked
right?
up, in how much shit would you be in? Like, how do you sleep at night knowing what happened?
Well, that's the whole thing. Usually, you would expect that there would be a backup system in place, right? Like there would be a rollback system available that would usually take snapshots every few days, right? Based on the kind of account that you have. And if you have a corporate account, you usually expect that there's some form of backup, right?
Yeah, apparently
because
there isn't.
It's an online service.
The thing
Yeah,
is,
once
you
you
know,
have-
like
right.
this is what really scares me. A lot of the talk, especially when COVID started, it was we need cashless society. Like that was a fucking bizarre take. You know,
Yeah,
you,
whole
you just
CBDC
hear that
bullshit,
there's
man.
this plague coming from China, the China virus it was called at the time, and they're like we need cashless society. And like what the fuck? And the
Yeah, that's a
reality
big
is like
jump to make there.
no, I know how it works. Like regarding this type of policy making, like they usually want something, right? So like they want
reactive
cashless.
policy making. They use they scapegoat an event to push in something
yeah,
that is
it's,
just remotely and vaguely
yeah.
connected.
Like a
to
lot
it.
of people will think, oh, this is a conspiracy theory. No. Like the reason you think like that, or they will think, oh, they've manufactured COVID for. No. What they do is like, okay, we want cashless society. How do we get it? And when an event happens, it's like, oh, a pandemic. They piggyback on that. Right, so it doesn't matter what it is. Like something will happen at some point, right? Whether it's a terrorist attack, a war, a pandemic, like some event at some point will happen, and that's when they piggyback it, right? So, for instance, with the BLM riots, like they didn't actually assassinate George Floyd. It's like they saw the video, they saw the footage, and they piggybacked all the talking points and all the activism and everything. They piggybacked it on that. And
Yep.
yeah, like this is exactly what's happening here. It's they want cashless society. The pandemic happens, they piggyback on it. But like, look how scary the thing is, right? Like if you can have your pension account on a cloud, which is vulnerable, and okay, this may be a fuck up, but like you can also have hacking. Let's say an EMP drops or some shit.
Let's just be clear, right? The actual pension account wasn't on Google. The documents which had all of the account numbers and the control codes for those accounts was on the actual like Google Cloud, because
Yeah.
you can't put the actual pension itself. It exists
No,
as
yeah,
a
yeah,
monetary fund, right?
No, but I assume it fucks a lot. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean that's still it's still the whole thing like with bearer bonds, right? How do you claim the value of something in an account if you don't have access to it in your hands, right?
Yeah.
So unless they have some sort of like megamind dude in the background that has all of their account numbers committed to memory, losing that document and not having an offsite backup is basically like you just lost all your Bitcoin because you threw a drive away into the trash.
yeah.
Same principle, just different approach because it's a platform. As a
No,
service.
like I'm still shocked that after news like this, and there's one more, people are still trusting the cloud. Like for instance, also last
Yeah.
week, apparently there's this American erotica writer. Now I don't know what the fuck she's writing. I don't know if it's like Khal Drogo porking Andrzej Daenerys, like in Game of Thrones. Like I have no idea what she is writing, but apparently she's of some renown. And she had like around 200,000 words on the cloud. And she is the violator. Like Google does say, you're not allowed to have anything sexual on the cloud, right? Now she's a writer for erotica, so violator. And she had her entire thing closed. That now she can't access it. So there's several reasons on why that is. The first one is if you get reported. Like if someone reports your work, obviously it gets a flag. If you give it to too many people, like if you're a writer and you have a blog
and you share it.
Yeah, you share it to everyone on your blog, it can be marked as spam, and when you want to get it back, someone from Google can read it and go like, what the fuck?
It's that's anything that gets accessed over a certain amount of time gets manually reviewed by a person. Or what they've been doing lately is they've been tying an auto surfer, like something that just passively skims through account to look for keywords.
Yeah.
So they've already admitted, what was it, like back in February, that they were going to start doing AI-based content recognition.
Yeah. That's the
Right.
last thing that I want to say is that you have AI which actually understands context, actually knows what you're talking about. So now they can actually flag it automatically. And if you're dumb enough and you're stupid enough to have all your information in the fucking cloud, it's not yours. Like if it's not on your hard drive, it's not yours.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it's on the cloud and you don't have your latest copy to it, it could vanish at any time.
Yeah.
Like,
And
all
on
they have
top
to do
of
is
that-
a little rollback, right?
Yeah, and on top of that, if you actually read the terms of service, like I don't know if they did it to her or not, but you can lose all of your Google services. So you lose your email, you lose your cloud, you lose your YouTube channel, you lose all of these things.
Well, it's actually a little bit worse than that, V, because there's another subclause that says later on that, in effect, you're not supposed to open up multiple Google accounts. And if you get banned by one, all of the other ones that you have can be collaterally banned if they identify you.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, when I was making my video game story, which, in my opinion, isn't really that bad. I mean, it's not Stephen King level, you know, with kids having orgies in the sewers. That's in the book It, right? Like, I didn't write any of that shit. I didn't do, like, the Game of Thrones R.R. Martin, where an Arya lookalike gets porked by Ramsay's dogs. Like, none of that. It's just like a horror game with Ushikushi succubi, but I didn't want to have it on the cloud, and you were upset. It's like, why are you not having it on? Well, this is why. This is fucking why. It's like, I do not trust these companies.
All you gotta do is run into the wrong Janny. The wrong Janny.
The wrong Janny, yeah.
Yeah. American Outlier with 50 says can confirm on the AWS side when he worked at Disney, they had issues with the S3 buckets and the data center failure because of the Log4j vulnerability. And that, yeah, I don't blame you, man. Log4j having, what was it, probably a buffer overrun. But yeah, he was an AWS Hadoop admin. Wow, holy shit, Hadoop. I hate Hadoop. So page for 3 a.m. for an emergency meeting. God,
that sounds fun.
Hashtag
that
just
sounds
IT
fun.
thing.
Like imagine American Outlier, you know, sleeping with his Dakimakura with his wife who's 3 a.m. Like what the fuck?
Cuddling with the Lamia Dakimakura.
Oris, did you know that there's this meme on the internet where
What's this?
allegedly there are people with smoke detectors in their house going chirp 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 and they don't do anything about it?
Yeah, the dead battery chirp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that
Well, when I used to jet set travel a lot when I was doing like HR consulting and all of that shit. I used to travel an obscene amount, and at one point there was that sweet spot where Airbnb used to be actually cheaper than going to a hotel, and I can tell you right now, some of these Airbnbs would be in like high-rise condos. They would rent out the subunits, and yep, the meme is fucking real, especially in Atlanta, because I can say that almost every single time that I stayed in Atlanta, somewhere, either it was a house nearby or inside the condo unit that we were renting, there was always like every 30 seconds.
So do you
And
think
you're like-
there's a racial component to this?
I think it's more of a lazy component, and I see lazy as not being entirely racially
this
sourced.
is legitimately what I wonder. Like if it's lazy or if it's actually they can't hear it. Because if they can't hear it, then it's a fire hazard and it would be easily fixed. Just change the thing, you know?
Well,
But-
I
but-
did ask before, and I like everyone that I ever asked confirmed that they hear it. I think they just do the McDonald's thing and they just fucking ignore the beep, right? It
But
becomes
can you
background
though?
noise.
Like
I don't know. Maybe they.
I'm not like it would drive me insane. Like I
do.
would.
Man, I'm sitting there at 2 a.m. I gotta wake up at like 6 to take whatever it is I gotta take to get to the hospital or to do the whole work the next day. And every 30 seconds, you have this chirp coming from like behind the wall. Like, good luck trying to sleep, man, if you're not used to that shit.
You know what I would have done? I'm not even kidding. I would have knocked at the door very politely and I would offer my services for free to change the fucking battery. Well, I would be like, look, like I'm not going to ask for anything. I'm not charging anybody. I genuinely want. But the thing is, like, I think they can't hear it because there were a couple of YouTube videos where callers had the chirp. And the guy was like, you do not hear it. And they're like, no, I genuinely don't. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah. Some hearing aids won't be able to take that level of like that frequency, right? Because it's some
Yeah.
pretty high pitched shit, right?
Yeah,
so
I'm
I
genuinely
think I know what
thinking
you
it
mean.
might be that. Yeah, like the hood cricket. Might
But
actually-
sometimes it's not even like the worst part is sometimes these things aren't even battery powered. Sometimes the chirp is there, like whenever it's like the smoke detectors that are centrally connected to like the condo unit, they just need to be tested once a month. So all you got to do is hold down the button for 3 seconds and the chirp goes away, right?
Yeah, but I
It's
do
just-
think
it's the laziest shit, man.
yeah, that's my question. Is it laziness or is it that they can't hear it? But like no study wants to touch that shit with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, the
No,
chirp,
no,
the
no
chirp
one
lets
wants
you know
to. Yeah, like
that I
no
need
one
watch.
wants to touch it with a 10-foot pole because the premise is racist. Do you know what
Oh,
they're calling it, by the way? They have a name
the-
for it.
Yeah, the hood cricket. I heard that one before. It's horrible, but yeah, I heard it before. I heard that. The first time I heard that term was when I was driving through the Comptons. Long fucking time ago.
And they say that at night you can still hear the hood cricket.
Stealing bird. 30-second chirper. Yep. Lets you know it's still there and still working.
Man, there was like this rapper. I can't show pictures of this because it's actually.
Oh yeah, the good old unaliving gentleman there.
Yeah, I don't even know how to discuss it on YouTube, but like if you guys seen it on
Yeah,
Twitter
be careful
because
with
it
the
was
with the
trending.
keywords there.
Like
Yeah.
there's this rapper which is playing with a gun and has an unfortunate accident. Now you're looking at that and you're thinking, man, like people believe all the fake shit on the internet. Like it's obviously fake, right? Like that is not an actual person injuring themselves in the head with a gun. Like it's gotta be fake. And this morning I go up and I see that the picture of the guy in the newspaper, and the family starting a GoFundMe in order to cover the cost for the funeral. And I'm like, well, you know, I guess I lost my ability to discern fact from fiction. Like, what the fuck? But it's like, P. Diddy, I think, I don't know if it's P. Diddy. What the fuck is his name? But it's like, if you watch the video, you generally don't think that anything bad happens because it cuts off, like, right after. And the guy is playing with the gun so casually, like, does not respect the weapon whatsoever. It's just like...
Yeah, it's. I mean, I was pretty astonished when I first saw it. Generally speaking, like you can tell. I mean, I don't know anyone who's handled a gun. You can typically tell the difference between an airsoft and a real gun just by the way that the weight looks like in someone's hand, right? Because a real weapon, like, it's just got a bit of beef to it, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like a real weapon. The whole flame effect could have been added or whatever, but I don't know, man. The way and the speed the head, like that the guy's head jerks away, to me it looks like it was pretty real.
Yeah, like when I first saw it, but then you realize, like, why would someone do this? Why would you play with a loaded gun like that? What the fuck?
I don't know, man. There was the time back before the big purge of Reddit. These kinds of subreddits had all sorts of these accident videos in it, and it was pretty prolific, right?
Yeah,
and
I remember
it
that.
happens. It happens pretty goddamn often. Like people who literally have one in the chamber and they just point it straight to their own crotch, and then they start pressing the trigger just enough so that they get the trigger depression activated laser. And then, of course, he goes a little bit too far in testing it, and he shoots himself in the groin for no other reason than having his phone while the gun was pointed to his groin. It was just, you see the weirdest shit, man. People.
Okay, listen,
I don't know,
all right?
man.
Like I'm a Romanian. I live in one of the countries with the most strict gun control legislations on earth.
Yeah.
And because of that, I have a phobia of weapons. Like, if you put a Glock on my table, it has an aura of dread. Like, I legitimately feel afraid of that thing just because it exists.
It's
okay?
a weapon that can harm and kill, right? And
Yeah.
if it's set incorrectly with the safety off, it can go off.
Yeah,
right?
so even though this is applied to me, I know that, number one, you should always assume the gun is loaded. You should
Always.
never put your finger on the trigger unless you want to fire. You should always aim for center mass if you're American. If you're a Romanian police cop, you should aim for the leg. That's actually in the legislation. America's scope and sieve. That's what you do. No one. No, seriously, I've never heard of a case of a cop trying to shoot someone in the leg and the bullet ricocheting. I'm sure it can happen, but like whatever. And then you also have the thing that the safety always needs to be on unless you're willing to fire. How the fuck do I know these things? And an American that's a liberal in a liberal state doesn't know it, but yet they do have guns. Like how does it work?
I think. Well, I mean, access and education are two different things, right? In Canada, if you want to have the right to like purchase a firearm,
But I
and, like, have
didn't
a
learn this
firearm
in
your
school,
home,
you
have to
know.
finish
Like
the course.
it
Yeah.
wasn't. But it's like you're curious, right? Like you got a gun and you're curious about it. Just do like a bare minimum research. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, all it takes is like 3 days. Like for us, the course on like handling, and it covers everything from handguns all the way up to like cleaning and maintaining like shotguns and shit too, and like basically hunting rifles, because we have in Canada we have limitations on what kind of firearms you're allowed to purchase domestically.
People say
And
the education system. Like, motherfucker, do you think you learned this
Yeah.
shit in school? It's like, okay, so like high school. Okay, kids, we're going to teach you about gun safety. Put your weapons on the table so that we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, why does Tomcat really dislike you? Like, I noticed last stream as well. What did you do to Tomcat?
I don't know. That's all right. Having haters means you're making it, right?
But you got one hater, right? Like everyone else likes is just Tomcat, and I'm thinking like, did you do anything to Tomcat? Did you upset him? Did you talk to him between the streams?
Not that I know of, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
It's just weird. Tomcat, just let us know why is Ors bothering you? What did you do? Usually I'm the one that goes on other people's streams and it's like, oh, it's V again. Oh. Anyway, right. So here's another one. I think that this is actually funny. It didn't happen. Didn't happen this week. But it went viral this week. So I'll share it with the chat. Apparently, you guys know Google Maps, right? So Google Maps is made by a car, right? Like there's a car from Google that travels around the perimeter and they film stuff. And that's how you get Google Maps. Now, apparently, the Google Maps car ran over someone. It was no fatality or anything, but it's actually caught on camera. Like, and the way it was found is that some streamer on Twitch was playing through Google Maps, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And it's like he had to trace it back because he couldn't believe that it's real.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I mean, definitely the guy got full send. Like that's a full ass yeet, that's for sure. But imagine this is like some random goddamn road in Senegal, right?
Yeah. It's not even like a big traffic. There's no intersection. It's so fucking random. Doesn't make sense. Like the guy has like an entire street and he doesn't just, I guess, like look to check to see if a car is coming. It just crosses the lane from the left and goes all the way in front of the vehicle. It's completely his fault.
I mean, there's like only one other car. It's not like you can't hear him coming, right?
That we know of. I mean, maybe there's like an entire trail of cars behind the Google automobile. I don't know, but
He's got a Congo line of vehicles behind him. They're just because he's Google car.
people in the chat are saying, well, Google's motto, do no evil. It's like, look, all I'm saying is that Google did nothing wrong here. It's like, there is no way that I can look at this and blame it on the guy driving the car.
No. I mean, even when he's turning, the guy's head is turned away.
Yeah.
So, holy shit. Anyway, I just hope the guy's okay. I mean, getting hit
Yeah,
by
no,
the goddamn
apparently he
Google
didn't
car.
die or anything. But it is hilarious the way it was found. It was like this streamer, which was going on the street, and it's like, what the fuck, because like you don't really get the context as you're looking at. The thing that's funny is that they actually uploaded that footage. Like they didn't do another take.
Yeah, it got by the censor guy, whoever it is that's got to clean up the images or like fade out the images if anyone's face is shown or shit like that.
All right, so we can talk about the Kansas City, which did a little bit of fuck up. Let's see if I can open this somewhere. So there's this sports player, I think NFL, right? And he had controversial college graduation comments. And I'm like, controversial? Like, what is he? Is he like for trans kids and encouraging that the teachers hide the pronouns from the parents? Like, what did he say that is so controversial? Well, apparently he was at the Catholic school. My fucking God, that is already controversial just by reading it. As a group, you witness firsthand how leaders who don't stay in their lane have a negative impact on society, the football player said. And he says that bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues, things like abortion, IVF, euthanasia, surrogacy, as well as growing support for degenerate cultural values and media, all stem from pervasive disorder. Again, he's at a Catholic school. This is his speech.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're in a Catholic school, you expect to hear a Catholic vibe
Yeah,
message.
Catholic
Yes,
shit,
it
right?
makes
Like why
complete
would you?
fucking sense,
Yeah, why would you go to a Catholic school if you're not going to talk about Catholic shit? And our own nation is led astray by a man who publicly proclaims he is of the Catholic faith, but at the same time he is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. That is actually.
Yeah, that's to be. I mean, my family's Catholic. Personally,
Yeah.
I drifted away from that shit, but my
Yeah.
family is straight up devout Catholic, and that's serious stuff for them. Like for them, that's lifestyle things. That's
Yeah,
important
yeah.
to their way of life.
But it is hilarious if Biden did the sign of the cross at a pro-abortion rally. That's like, how do you interpret that? Because that has two meanings, you know. Number one,
Yeah.
he doesn't know anything about religion, and number two, he's looking at it as like Jesus Christ. But anyway, he has been so vocal for the support of murder of innocent babies that I'm sure many people appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice, he says. Right, anyway, so he's basically criticizing the Biden regime, and he's making arguments on why he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently...
The man is a man, and he has a right to his goddamn opinion.
Yeah. But apparently this was so controversial, and it rattled Kansas City to the point where they tweeted on their official account, just a reminder that Harrison Butler lives in the city of Lee Summit. So,
Oh, they fucking doxed him.
yeah, they fucking doxed again the official Twitter account of Kansas City. Like it's Kansas City with the yellow check mark, verified
No
account.
way. Oh, that's dirty as hell. As if, I mean, professional players, celebs, and all of that shit. I'm not their biggest fan, but they got enough crazy shit to deal with already. Like, goddamn, man. Now they're gonna send the crazies out to his goddamn house.
I don't think that's gonna happen. But very unprofessional. No, like I gotta look at it from this way, right? Like there is one guy working at Kansas City, like a community manager, and he was so butthurt about the fact that one football player goes to a Catholic school. He was so fucking absurd that he's risking his job, his livelihood, his ability to put food into his kids' mouths, and goes and tweets that shit.
Oh, man, that's some vindictive bullshit right there, dude.
And it's like, okay, but like, how fragile is your ideology? Like, you got so many other famous people, celebrities, politicians, influencers that say literally the opposite of what this football player said. It's like you got one guy, one fucking guy goes to a Catholic school and has some basic bitch right-wing talking points. Like, it's not even something that he invented. It's not something that no one has heard up until 2024. And this is enough to cause this level of ass hurt?
Well, I mean, anything that goes against the vibe, right? Because when a movement like that establishes a flow, they have to be very, very reactive to things that can disrupt the flow, right? Because you don't want to have something that ruins the momentum of, say, a popular movement or a social movement or anything like that. So if they think that they have, like, the raison d'être that they say in French, or like they have like the real deal behind them, they're gonna react as negatively as they can when something like this comes up to challenge them. Because the last thing these guys need now is a counter movement that wants to go back to like the more traditional values.
I guess, but I still think it's bot bad. Like, do you honestly think it's like this speech at the Catholic school has started the counter movement?
Yeah, I mean, I having, to be honest, I haven't listened to the actual like individual bits of the speech, right? So I say what I'm about to say colored from the perspective that hopefully he didn't say anything hateful, but based on what you've said, while some of the things are controversial, there's nothing harmful.
Yeah, it's no. I mean, I haven't listened. I haven't listened to the speech either. I read it from the newspaper, but it's as basic bitch as it can get. It's not.
Yeah, he's touting traditional values.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, like literally, like, oh my god, right winger goes to Catholic school. Talks about Catholic shit. Oh, so controversial. Oh, Dios mío. It's like, what?
Look, behold the duck. It quacks. Oh my god, the duck quacked.
Yeah, no, seriously, like, imagine being shocked that, I don't know, like a Democrat has put sex in the White House. It's like, they're Democrats, that's what they do, It's like... I wouldn't say it's controversial. Or they found la cocaína in the White House and there's no cameras. No one knows who put it there. I mean, like, look, you can't invade in the privacy of people. Like,
no cameras in the White House, V.
What the fuck do you? No, you know what? Like if I was the cartel, if I was the Mexican cartel, I would hunt down that guy to give him a job. I would give him a job opportunity. Like, man, if you can sneak la cocaína in the White House,
Yeah, you
And
can
people
smuggle
come
anything
find out like
anywhere.
you need to work for us now. You need to...
Next thing you know, 10 years down the road, we start getting Netflix specials on the DC connection.
I wonder, like, if they were to give him a job interview, like we need you to do one more thing for us, just so we can see you're legit. We need you to smuggle CP into the White House now. You just need to do that, and if they don't find out who you are and you're hired. Like, honestly, you know.
What? Who is this? What agency is this person like applying for? The friggin'
The cartel, the Mexican
Cartel,
cartel, right?
God damn.
Like, if you're the Mexican cartel, you want to hire that guy. You want to give him job opportunity. Like, look, if you can smuggle la cocaína in the White House and no one finds out, like, they don't know who you are, they have no video evidence, like, no, that guy is Agent 47. I just... He's the ghost. They probably call him the ghost.
Il Fantôme.
Do you think they call him the spook?
The spook? No, they already used that term for CIA agents.
Maybe it was a CIA agent that did it. All right, so let's move on to something more interesting. Apparently, King Charles is angrier than anyone has ever seen him at Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's Nigeria trip.
Oh, yes. Yes. Let me guess. They arrived over there and they probably got the whole treatment, right?
They got the whole fucking treatment.
They
weren't
tried
treated-
the same thing in Canada, but they got turned away.
Really?
Well, yeah, because the whole thing with them, right, is they don't ask for the treatment, but just having them arrive as a pair, it has implications, right? And for the royal family, this is like, especially when you're dealing with Commonwealth countries, this has big implications for them. Like, for me, it's just like, whatever, who cares? They did a bunch of song and dances. They went to visit a couple of, like,
Oh no, it's
I
a
don't
big
know,
thing.
they probably went for charity, like, they probably got to visit some charity places or whatever the fuck, some philanthropy stuff. But at the end of the day, it's the fanfare that really makes it feel as if the royal family is being slighted. But they tried to travel to Canada a couple of months back, and they got turned away, from what I understand.
By whom?
By like diplomatic services. Like,
Oh, like at the airport?
Well, yeah, because like they can't just travel to a place, right? Like when someone that high profile travels, there's some security implications that have to be respected. Because even if they're disconnected from the royal family, they're connected to heads of state.
Yeah, I understand that they're disavowed, right? Like they're.
Well, they've separated away, right? They've abdicated.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have like inheritancy into the whole royal system, but that shit don't matter, man. They still command a certain level of security. Like, I mean, imagine if these guys go like to Banff and like British Columbia, and then suddenly they get kidnapped. Because there was no security there. It would be an international fucking incident.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it makes more sense. Because this is what I was thinking. It's like, if you abdicate, like why is the king whining about it? Like, is he going to send paparazzis after them? Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they won't Diana them, but
send paparazzis after them.
Yeah, but the whole deal is that it can give false implications. Like, let's say I'm not implying that they did anything untowards in whatever country, but let's say that this happens again with some other country, and then this other country creates a video or a clip or basically legitimizes something based on the presence of Meghan and Harry, right? And that gives that thing clout, and it turns out to be like a really bad like slave labor camp or a child soldier camp in the future. That creates a whole whack of really uncomfortable controversy. And as if the UK royal family doesn't have enough controversy to begin with.
Jesus, sorry.
Yeah, so it's about the perception of it more than anything. And for the royal family, perception is super important.
Yeah. Like for those of you who don't know what's going on, like the Duke and Duchess of Sussex went to Nigeria, and it left King Charles angrier than anyone has ever seen him. Like, I expected him to be angrier when they saw the painting, but okay. According to a royal expert, they were in an African country over the weekend as part of their work to promote Invictus Games. What the fuck is Invictus Games? Hold on. What the fuck is Invictus Games?
The Invictus Games.
What is the
think of it-
Invictus Games?
Think of it as I believe it's a Pan-African, like mini Olympics kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Right. I thought it's like an actual video game company. I was like, what the speaking exclusively to the Mirror, the royal author said that William is absolutely furious and determined to find a way to stop this happening in the future. Charles is said to be angrier than anyone has ever seen him. What's really upset is the fact that Nigeria has treated Meghan and Harry as if they were on an official tours. All the sign were there, couple were greeted, and dances, receptionist visits to school and charities. But here's the thing, right? You can't physically stop them from visiting. Like, I get what you're saying with security, but like, this is not a security issue. This is the fact that the nation state is being, and I started to say this, but retarded. Like, they're disowned, and the government is treating it as if they're not. And the onus is on the government in this situation. Like,
That's
I get it, like, treat the level of security required and make sure that they have motorcades and shit. But when you're giving them, like, political fanfare and you're putting on the red carpet and you have, like, all the receptions and shit, I guess, like, the government is to blame.
Yep. Well, you're right, and that is exactly why Charles is so pissed off, because it gave the whole reception gave legitimacy to the whole to like those two as if they were royals, right?
Yeah.
So in the future, really, if they really wanted to, right? Because like when royals visit one country to another, they're not part of the Commonwealth, right? There's a price to pay between nations, right? This shit doesn't happen for free. So now they got all the benefit of a would-be like royal visit without actually having any of the protocol.
Yeah.
Right. So now it basically gives a veneer of legitimacy for what is possibly something that wasn't vetted by the royal family at all.
Derna 1804. All I want to know is, can you say the Duchess of Sussex was not a success 5 times really fast? The Duchess of Sussex was not a success. 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 Look, man, I do the tongue twisters just fine. Like, I can say how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. I did this when I was a kid. I mean, come on. Speaking of King Charles, did you see his painting?
Yeah, I did.
It looks fucking demonic, doesn't it?
It's a monstrosity of a painting. Like, seriously. Like, I can understand creating something like that for the sake of creating art, right? It's a painting. But for a personal portrait, a royal portrait that's supposed to represent Charles in whatever gallery in Westminster or whatever the hell for the rest of his life, that's just a horrible fucking composition.
Let me see if I can. Oh, holy shit! I just found one that's okay. So I'll show this one to the chat. But dude.
I mean, the dude looks like a painting you'd have to press a button with when you're playing Elden Ring or like even some side realm.
It looks fucking demonic, man. I'm sorry to say it. It's like, I'm not a religious person, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking corn. It looks like the thing from the Blob.
Put that shit on screen for chat, man. That's just.
I did put it. There. It looks like. You know the monster in the Blob? It looks like it's trying to absorb King Charles.
Yeah, it looks like someone painted a King Charles face on a slab of pork side.
It's not even that. It's like, why is his skin so sickly gray?
I'm actually curious if it's just the contrast against the red here. Let me take a. Yeah, if you take a screenshot, like you crop away just his face. His face isn't bad when you take away all of the red around it, but the red around it makes it look like he's basically like brick pallor and white. Like he looks like he's on his deathbed.
Yeah, the thing is, like, the artist definitely has talent. Like he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I honestly
are brought
think
out well.
I honestly think the artist took the piss.
Yeah. I think
like
so.
if I really hated King Charles and I was commissioned and I wanted to take the piss, I don't think I could have done a much better painting than this.
I think you're onto something, because They definitely have the talent. I mean, you take a look at the individual details that he's doing using negative space, right? Like the tassel trims, the metals, the way that the collar kind of puts up against the neck. Like, they've got excellent technique,
Yeah.
but the composition is trash for what they're trying to do. On the other hand, if you're doing it as a hate piece,
Yeah.
now that's a whole different story. Now that would be a genius hate piece.
Now there is something else that's interesting, and this is what people on the internet found out. So it's just like one of those things where you see Jesus in the asshole of a dog or whatever.
Yeah, I was talking with one of my friends on another Discord server, and it's like we look at that, and it's like this looks like the cover for like the next version of Doom.
Yeah. Like okay, so apparently, if you turn the picture upside down and you mirror it does look like fucking Baphomet. Like the horns are there. You get to see the goat face. Look, it's even smiling here. Like it's very hard not to miss it. And again, you gotta ask: did the artist take the piss? Because it is a possibility.
The bigger question is the artist good enough to have painted something in like upside down?
I mean, there are artists that do it, right? Like it's not like it's a process that's.
Yeah, it's not impossible, but
it's not impossible.
It would take a lot of forethought, right?
Well, take into account like he was paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars for this, right? So I assume he's a really good artist, right? Like he must have some renown in order to be able to be commissioned.
Yeah, but I wouldn't expect him to create something you'd expect him to be hanging in Vlad Tepes' man in fucking man.
But even Vlad Tepes had style. Like even Vlad Tepes wouldn't have someone drawn him like that.
Holy shit.
And like the thing is,
times, yeah, it's so uncanny. It's so present that it couldn't have been missed. Any artist with a good eye would have been able to spot that shit.
No, the thing that's even more hilarious is that there is a BBC article. Because I thought, okay, well, apparently what happened here is that many times the commissioner doesn't get to see the painting, right? Uh-huh. So you just commission the artist, and the artist shows it to you when it's done. It's not like for our video game where they show you like the sketch and then they show, right? Like it's.
Yeah, they only show up for a couple of like short hour, like maybe 1 hour of a standing pose to get a basic sketch in, and then usually the painter takes off and
I don't think they need even that. Like they just take a photo nowadays, right? Like it's not in the ancient time.
Oh, really? They'd even water it down that much?
Yeah.
Then again, I wouldn't be surprised given what came out. So.
But anyway, right? So if you what is it? The Sistine Chapel. Like there's the story that the Pope came in to see the work in progress and he was thrown away by the artist, right? I thought it's like that. I genuinely thought that the king commissioned this atrocity, and then when it was done, it was done. But the other question would be, why didn't he burn it, Still, no, it's not what happened. Apparently, he saw it while it was being painted in the middle, and all he said is, that's a lot of red. That's a lot of red, keep going.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude, like this represents you. This is going to be in Westminster. Like, people are going to look at this, 100 or 200 years from now, and they're going to think you're the demonic king. Like,
I mean, when they did the whole unveiling thing, I half expected the entire picture to just start sliding down and get shredded like the Bansky thing.
Honestly, the whole thing is the emperor has no clothes here, because if you're in the audience, you can't say, "Oh, this looks like shit, dude." It's like, what the fuck?
You have to maintain decorum a little bit if you want to have a pass.
How much did they rip you off for this? Goodness.
Yeah, $100,000.
No, I think it's 200 actually. It's double the price of my house.
$200,000.
Yeah. Oh, and it's pounds. Hold on, my bad. It's pounds. That's like what, like 300 almost?
GBP?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. How powerful is the pound versus USD now?
I don't know. Well, it is a lot of money anyway for a fucking painting. I have Japanese artists that can draw better, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it would be about 250k USD.
Dude, our friend Shiki draws better than that shit, and he does just 300.
Yeah, the last thing we need is a Utsukushi King Charles on a big old canvas.
No, I'm pretty sure Shiki can draw, man. You know what? We should ask.
I think he'll throw me the biggest emoji question mark possible to draw King Charles.
You know, this is like going to a furry artist and asking him to draw humans.
It's like, do you know what you're asking?
No, like I actually heard that's a thing, right? Like there's some very popular furry artists in the fandom, and they usually charge like a lot of money. They charge up to $1,000 per painting. So the commissions are filled. Like in order to get a commission from them, you have to know a guy that knows a guy, and it's funny when you finally get when someone finally gets to them, and it's like, "What do you want me to draw? A human?"
Yep. Knowing a number of interesting content artists myself, that happens very often. People that just don't read the room and they'll ask for something completely outside of the wheelhouse. Sorry, what?
No, I like the expression, they don't read the room.
Yeah.
Make King Charles summonable in our game.
Make King Charles what?
Summonable in our game.
Oh man, put a gifified version of the King Charles portrait somewhere in the basement.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I would get fucking sued. I don't want to fuck with the royals.
No, what you do is you put it behind another object, so only a part of it is exposed. You know, this is a reference. We can.
Okay, so this is an article you actually gave me for a change. Justin, the barge hits Pelican Island Bridge in Galveston, Texas, causing the railway to collapse. So this is like what, the third one that happens? Like we had the first one, which people blamed on diversity, but I said no, I don't think so. Like it hit the bridge, right? There was another one which barely hit the bridge, but it deviated on time. And now there's this shit. A lot of people are suggesting that maybe it's China involved.
Well, if so, it's pretty goddamn insidious. Like if it is any sort of like third party, like say Russia or China, trying to get in and do some sabotage. Yeah, while it's possible, it would be rather unusual, but it would be worth investigating. But remember, this is following up as well. If you remember, a little bit earlier this year, V, we were having all sorts of weird issues with the train system before it as well.
Oh yeah, you did have like the East Palestine train.
Yeah,
and they blamed Trump for removing some safety measures that were in place before him.
Yeah, but I mean, safety measures were getting peeled away for years and years and years, even before Trump. Trump just added another extra check mark to the list, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm defending Trump. Well,
what's wrong with defending
either way,
Trump? Like this Trump derangement syndrome is like, I get, you know, when Biden does something good, I'm the first one to say, yeah, you know what, like I agree.
Yeah, it's possible for even people I dislike to be correct. I acknowledge that much. But the whole big deal with this is the lack of, I guess you could say, secondary checks, because I don't know what happened with the barge yet. We're still waiting for information for what actually happened with the barge. Because all we know is that somehow the work barge managed to snap free from its tether, not be powered, and move downwards with enough force to smash and break like the actual outer pontoon and bring the rail section of that bridge that you see right now on Pelican Island.
Yeah.
Like down. Which means it's still kind of hit with enough force. And a barge ain't a light thing, right? It's a big platform that you do for like aquatic working, right? It's a workhorse, more or less. So it's got weight to it, but usually those bridges are at least graded enough to take a decent hit. So the fact that it broke down the rail is, you know, how fast was that thing going and what actually happened?
What happened with the people on the bridge?
I don't know. It's a rail, so if there wasn't like if you take a look, the road is fine, right? Mm-hmm. It's just the outer rail. So if there wasn't
right. I'll see. Yeah. Oh, this is after the accident. I thought that it's about to happen. Yeah.
No. This is after the collapse already took place, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I don't think anyone died in that one, and like we don't see any train wreckage, so it's not like a train was on the rail when it crashed in.
Yeah. Well, it's the third one, right? Speaking
a
of
third
third
in a
one,
real short period of time.
I was talking with another Canadian, short fat otaku, and
Yeah.
we were talking about how there's another suicide when it comes to Boeing. And,
Yeah, it's
and he doesn't believe. It's like, where's your evidence that it wasn't a suicide? And I tried to put it in a different light. Then, I was saying, statistically speaking, if you walk with an iron in the middle of a storm, you can get hit if you're on a field, right?
yeah.
So, statistically speaking, how safe is it to be a Boeing whistleblower knowing the statistics? Like, out of all the blowers,
yeah, it's very,
this
it's a
amount
very,
committed suicide, like,
yeah, like
if you were to sell life insurance to Boeing whistleblowers, like, what would be your rates?
Yeah, I don't think insurance would cover that, because like the rate of mortality is extremely high. Like I don't think Ebola. Like I got a bad case of the whistleblowers.
Yeah. No, like,
Mortality, then
unironically, I do think that in the United States, in the future, if you want to get life insurance, they'll be like, so, did you work at Boeing? Yes. Do you have any desire? No, did you witness any problems at Boeing? Were you aware of any safety issues? And if yes, how likely are you?
Yeah. Question 25B. Do you or have you had any inclination or desire to become a whistleblower in the near or direct future?
But like from a stock point of view, right? Like if you have this company which can cut costs by lowering its safety measures, and then it can't be held accountable because all the whistleblowers mysteriously pass away, would you invest in that company? Because
No, I would short the fuck out of that company. I
Well-
already shorted the fuck out of the company.
why would you short it? Because no, like think about it, right? Like they can get away with anything, even breaking the law. Like nothing bad is going to happen because like no one can talk shit against them.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, well, I don't know. It's very, very coincidental. We have no hard evidence that it wasn't suicide, etc., etc. But the frequency is so high.
But
So
this is what I'm
unusually
talking with
high.
Devo. It's like, look, I'm not a judge, okay? I don't follow a court order. But, like, I can use my own brain and say, well, how the fuck do you explain this? And if I can't explain it, then I'm suspicious, right? So, imagine this. You're working at a company, right? And you got certain information that you want to make public. So you set up a court date, you talk to the press, you're already taking a lot of risk for doing it. And then right before the court date, it just happens that you want to end it all, and you leave no note, you leave nothing behind, no recording, no nothing, like does that make sense? And it doesn't
Just
happen
a
once,
very-
it happens more than twice, right? It's like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
take a look at the weird ass note that the guy who just recently like unalived, right? Look at the note he left behind, right? And
What did it say?
Even the wife. Well, it's first of all, it's very weirdly written. It's not written it's a standard piece of paper that was folded, but it wasn't written from left to right. It was written as if the bottom of the page was faced towards the person 4 times, and they wrote as if each side of the page was the bottom at one point or another. So they were turning the page around and shit. There's like all sorts of weird little side notes. It looks like if the person was the actual person writing the note, it looks like they were having a mental breakdown or they were going through a downward spiral.
What did they write, though?
A number of different shit, like please forgive me, and the couple of other shit for Boeing. Like let me get you the link, and you can show it.
That's very fucking weird.
Yeah, it's got like a bunch of different subjects on it. Like he goes over 9 different things. Like he goes completely fucking bonkers if it's to be believed.
No, like the thing with Short Fat Otaku is that as long as nothing is being done about it, it probably didn't happen.
Yeah, weird.
Here in Eastern Europe is the other way around. When it comes to the government or big corporations, we're like probatio ad diabolica. Like in the court of public opinion, you have to prove you didn't do it.
Here, I got you a better picture. 1 second. Here, I just linked it to you.
I found my purpose. I'm at peace. America, come together or die. I pray for the motherfuckers that ruined, no, destroyed my life. What the fuck?
Yeah. You see what I mean? It's incoherent shit. It doesn't look like whoever wrote this was in a proper state of mind.
Did he not have a laptop?
Yeah, that's yeah. This is the whole thing where it's like, is it or isn't it? Is it convenient? Is it there's in law enforcement, then when we were doing auditing for them, they have a term in some cases where they have what's called orgy of evidence. It doesn't need to be necessarily a big amount or a big volume of evidence, but it needs to be evidence that spouts too much information that is convenient for drawing a conclusion in a specific direction on an ongoing case. If I were doing an audit, I would send that to a second opinion to say, could we have an evidence issue here? But I'm a conspiracy leaning motherfucker in some cases, and I see Boeing as definitely doing nasty things in the background. Not that I have any proof to it, so it's only my opinion and only my opinion. But yeah.
Lucius Cardelius, why do you use your troll for your main channel? My webcam broke. And I realized that it's so fucking convenient to use the troll because you don't have to comb your hair every morning. It doesn't matter if you shaved or not. You can wear the same shirt for more than 2 days. You don't have to clean your room. It is perfect.
Damn, V, does the smoke alarm chirp in your house?
No, I don't have a smoke alarm. Did Boeing tell Hillary Clinton that the whistleblower knew something that would lead to the arrest and conviction of Hillary Clinton? Do you think that Boeing is competing with Hillary Clinton to see which one of them can be more suspicious? Because if so, they're doing a really good job.
Yeah. The competition would be pretty fierce if so.
And thank you, American Outlier, for the link. It's just. Apparently, there's 2 more investigators. Like, we'll see what happened. 2 more whistleblowers. We'll see what happened with them. But, like, it's not enough to be a whistleblower. It also matters, like, what exactly do you know? Like, what exactly do you have?
Yeah, the credibility and access to information.
Yeah.
And can they get the right people listening? Because it's all good to be a whistleblower and shit, but if you don't get someone to carry the story for you, unless you manage to make the story yourself, you're not going to get traction. And the story without traction goes nowhere.
Ors, did you know that having solved climate change, Greta Thunberg turns attention to Middle East peace?
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's freeing Palestine now.
Oh, so
from the river to the sea, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So she's an expert in this now too. Jeez.
Why aren't you as smart as her? Like, she's an expert into climate change. She's an expert into foreign politics. I think domestic politics as well. Like, she's part of Antifa. Like this is the prodigy child, isn't it?
She's really good at at what she needs to do to get the grift going. Yeah.
The grift.
Yeah, she's good at doing actions that give her and her groups money, and then doing absolutely nothing of value with that money.
This is what I wanted to talk about last week, but I guess we didn't host it. So there's this guy, right? You look at his face. Doesn't really express you as someone who normally plays chess.
Tyler won? Yeah.
Tyler won. Yeah, I thought it's Tyler the creator, but apparently no, there's different people.
No, it's not Tyler the creator. That's
no. Tyler the creator is
I've been a sub to Tyler 1 for years.
You've subbed to Tyler 1?
Yeah, especially during the earlier League of Legends days.
Okay, yeah, so that's what I know about Tyler 1, right? Like, he's a very bombastic League of Legends creator.
And he built different, man.
He's built different. He also works out, right? Like, he's a bodybuilder. Yeah. And apparently
he's really, 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 like, he hits personal bests on a regular basis, man. I was watching some of his collab live streams. Yeah. Some real inspiring shit. Like, for all of the rage and like the shit that he does on camera, the guy's a real wholesome dude deep down.
Yeah, but like, let me tell the chat what happened, right? So like Tyler, not the creator, Tyler One, picks up chess, and within 6 months after picking up chess, he is in the top 90%. Like he climbed the elo, is like grandmaster chess player. And a lot of people were like, okay, well, you know, he just farmed elo really fast. This is just a fluke. But no, he breaks the wall. And now he's in the top 1% of chess players in the world. And he's got like grandmaster, like the blah, 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 blah. The woman that's holding grandmaster title is now challenging him. And I'm looking at this, and it's like, what the fuck? And he, you know, like, he trash talks, like, League of Legends players, and it's like, look, if you've been playing chess since you're 5, and you're not Grandmaster, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? You're retarded. And I'm
Do you want to know the interesting part? The woman who's challenging him is the one that made the opening that he's actually using the most when he's doing his elo climb.
yeah, he's using an opening called the cow.
The cow opening.
Yeah, the cow opening, apparently, I can't believe I researched this, but I'm... Anyway, right, the cow opening allows a player to stall so that you're not the one that's doing the active, like you're allowing your opponent to have more moves in front of you so that you know how to counteract them, right?
Yeah,
like
if you're preparing an active defense.
Yeah, like if you're good at reacting.
Forward.
Yeah, like if you're good at noticing what mistakes your opponents do, then you do the cow move so that they get a couple of moves in front of you and they have the advantage, so you're just reacting to them. And the woman that invented the cow move has challenged him to a game of... I can't believe this is happening, dude.
Look at the traps on that guy. Holy shit, dude.
No, but like, okay. First of all, it's true that like chess is not that complex of a game. Like if you play StarCraft 2 or you play League of Legends, I think those games are far more complex than chess.
In a different way.
In a different way, but like look at League of Legends, right? You need to know all the champions and what their abilities do. You need to know all the items in the game. You need to know how to jungle properly, and it's like, no, it does require a high level of skill.
But it's, I don't know. I find it's comparing like apples to a bass drum, because when you're playing chess, you're playing on a finite field, right? You can only go so far. You can only do so many moves, and you have access to exactly the same tools between the two players, except for the tools that you get denied by losing a piece. In League of Legends, there's a lot more variables and there's a lot more fluidity to what can happen in the game. So there's a level of complexity to both games that are different. One is, I believe, one is complex in one way, while the other is complex in the other.
I think you can teach a 9-year-old to play chess. You can't teach a 9-year-old to play League of Legends.
No, that's true. Well, the 9-year-old could learn the basics, but like try to teach them how to creep score, right?
Yeah.
But one thing to keep in mind though is that the whole chess.com thing is that it's the elo there is rated differently than if you go on an actual like professional.
Yeah, it's true, but like, come on, like I understand people trying to downplay his achievement, but it is fucking impressive. Like,
yeah, he's still in the upper percentile, so like,
yeah, in the top 1%, apparently even higher now.
Yeah, he's cracking elo 2100 now. Last that I had checked.
So, apparently, he is famous for playing League of Legends and cracking Challenger with all the classes. So he got support to Challenger, he got jungle to Challenger, so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, he did an anything, like any role to Challenger, and then he did one for every single like position. Yeah, and then he did it again with different champions. Like he was always cycling champions at some point or another because you have to, because of counter picks and
how the fuck does he do it, man? Like how?
Yeah, but he straight up has the skill, right? Like from what I heard other pros say, like his individual like component skills may be lower, but his team play and his understanding of the macro is like pinnacle shit.
How do you think he does it though? It's like, can you imagine you pick some shit and you're just the best at it after a couple of months?
Yeah, it's a fundamental understanding of how the game mechanics can be exploited, right? Because whenever you take a look at when he rages a lot at the positioning and like the local behavior, right? Like especially about his own jungler, because that's how you put a lot of pressure on shit, right? So it's just about understanding how the weight of the game moves.
So,
as
so
someone
basically, you're
gets
saying
advantage
that
and loses advantage.
he used the knowledge of understanding macro and is using it in chess.
That's right. If he's using the cow system, because it involves him playing at a disadvantage, right? When you're playing reactive in chess, especially if you're playing reactive on black, like, good luck. It's really difficult. When you're playing reactive on white, you're still the one that moves first, so you're always one step ahead unless you kind of like peel away or you sacrifice a move which does absolutely nothing, like just a pale move to force your
Yeah.
enemy or your opponent to move their own piece. Until you sacrifice that, you're always ahead. But if you're playing reactive with a cow opening, yeah, he has to play twice as hard. He has to force his opponent to make a mistake in order to be able to start his strategy, right?
Apparently, chess players don't prefer the cow opening. They think it's shit. But
Yeah, playing reactive be aggressive is a very, very important term in chess. Unless you have a piece deficit, or especially if you have a queen deficit, playing aggressive will always get you what you need. Unless you play stupid, right? You always reinforce your pieces and all of that.
yeah, it was. I am curious. Like, where is it going to end with this? Because like he seems to be climbing and climbing. It
Well-
would be like I thought that maybe he's cheating. Apparently you can use computer in order to the computers that are available are smarter than any man. So like there are computers that are good at playing chess.
Oh, I mean, especially with AI now, like
Yeah.
that's one of the first things GPT-3 was doing, was solving 50 moves ahead, if where possible. I would say, like, I've been following T1's climb, and he makes too many mistakes for it to be cheating. Either that, or he's doing the smart thing and he's cheating. If he is cheating, he's doing the smart thing and he's only cheating in every so many X amount of number of matches. But I don't know. Personally, I think he actually did this shit.
Yeah, I
legit.
think so too. Yeah.
He's I don't know. He's not the kind of guy that needs to cheat, right? He
Yeah.
has a good fundamental understanding of whatever game that he sits down and he learns. Like, he'll sit down and he'll devour the game's mechanics until he figures out a way that he'll be able to leverage to make shit work. So it's always been that way for him. So as far as I'm concerned, like, props to him.
Apparently, Christica is saying, V stop, there is no meta in chess, there is no patch that makes the queen useless and buffs the pawn.
Yeah, we've improved the queen's movement to also include movement as a knight.
Do you think that if he plays our game, he's actually going to befriend the succubus?
If T1 picks up our game, I'm sure he'll figure out some mechanic we didn't even know we included as a consequence of the game, and he'll wind up like with a brand new ending we didn't even know was in there. That's how different Tyler is, man.
It is quite motivational, though. Like, people keep saying to me, it's like, well, there's no role models. And I'm like, well, you know what? Fuck it. Tyler is definitely a role model. Like, the ability to just pick something and stick with it until you become the best. And despite the fact that you get people telling you that you're going to be shit, no. I do think that Tyler is a genius manlet, unironically.
Yeah. What I think, and this is my theory on it, the whole screaming and shouting and shit is more for the camera than anything, because when you really take a look at the way he grows as a person, just in his understanding of the game and everything, he's way more focused on his personal betterment and like improving where he had messed up before. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he gives up quickly, we've all seen the rage quits for those that were following during the League of Legends days, but like he understands this shit, right? And if he wasn't good at what he was doing, he wouldn't be where he was.
Does he rage quit during chess?
I've seen him at the start rage quit. I haven't seen a rage
Hold on,
quit.
let me check. Let me check if he rages quit during chess. That would be funny.
I mean, it's kind of hard to rage quit at chess, right? You hit escape and then forfeit, and then
Tyler Wild rage quits chess. No, apparently. Tyler Wild rage quits and opens chess.
Yep.
So he rage quits from League of Legends and opens chess.
Yes. That was his therapy game.
Do you think that there are people there that are like buff queen, buff knight, nerf king?
Pawn underpowered.
Well, actually, pawn is very powerful because it's the only piece you can actually change into a queen, so you can have 2 queens, and you can only do it with the pawn. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to make it to the end of the board though.
Well, you can make it to the end of the board with a rock, and you don't get another queen. So. Do you know that apparently like Japanese people have this game shogi, and it's like chess, but it's got like different moves and shit, and it's got like 2 generals and stuff, and it's.
Yep, and you have to place your infantry based on where you place your cavalry, and sometimes even if units don't pass each other, they can still kill each other. Yeah, shogi is it's a much smaller board. There's only like 3 layers that you can move in, and then you can move like laterally by 4 positions. So yeah, it's,
man, give it to the Japanese to overcomplicate something. It's like you got like the simple game chess, and Japanese are like, no, we need to make it more complex. It's like you got 2 generals, you got your golden generals, you got your silver generals, you got this is how you position shit.
Your SSR general from your gacha.
I mean, to be honest, the country, which has like 3 different alphabets and all of them are fucked up, like coming up with this is surprising. Man, I will tell the chat, yesterday I was a little bit upset. I didn't want to share, but I'll share it now. Because people keep asking me, like, when is your game ready? When is your game ready? And the problem with my game is that I wanted to have Japanese voice actresses. I still do. But in order to have Japanese voice actresses, you need to translate it, right? So I get this guy, Japanese dude, really nice, very wholesome fellow. And I talk to him, it's like, okay, well, I want the game translated. So he's like, sure. Asks for a decent price, gives me some translations, but then he just disappears off the face of the world. Slime, if you're listening to this, I still wish you would come back, but it is what it is. So I keep waiting for him, and I don't want to commission another guy, because I already paid this one, right? But after, like, a couple of months, I'm like, well, shit, I guess it is what it is. I'll just bite the bullet, take the loss, and commission someone else. So I'm asking on the stream, it's like, is there anyone that can translate into Japanese? I will pay. And I have this guy, professional guy, like, he translates anime, translates manga professionally. But he tells me, like, dude, I never translated the opposite. Like, I translate from Japanese to English, never did the opposite thing. And, it would need some localization. Like, you may need someone that can do it. But like, I'll do my best, and I wouldn't rip you off of cash. And I'm like, okay, And now that the translations were done, I go to the voice actress, and the voice actress tells me in a nice Japanese way that she can't work with it. I'm like, oh fuck, So now I'm on the 3rd translator. So when is the game ready? When it's translated, all right? When it's translated.
Yeah, we have some administrative stuff that needs to be taken care of. But yeah, critical path build and the translation seems to be the bottleneck right now because of a bit of content
and after
issue.
It's translated, I need the voice actors to actually record the lines. But the thing is, though, the reason it's so difficult to translate, like, apparently, it's not like, okay, if I have an English text and I need to translate it to Romanian, done. Like, very simple, I can do it. But in Japanese, like, every single translator is asking me, like, what type of character is this? Like, can you describe me their personality? And like, what the fuck? Just translate. No.
That's when they do the voices. That's why there's a marked difference when you listen to a Japanese production, when you listen to the dubbed version in North America. Yeah. They will match the person's personality and voice to the character rather than just using the person's voice and putting it on top of the character.
Yeah. So basically, Sora the Troll. Dude, I need a cheap translator because I already spent a lot of cash on this and I have buyer's sunken cost fallacy. But like, No, like I don't need a professional, you know. I just need like someone that wants to take some time to translate a couple of words. But the problem is, yeah, as you mentioned, they ask it's like, what type of character is this? It's like, is it a stoic character? Is it an old character? Is it a yandere? Is it, it's like, what? Why does it matter? It's like, no, but apparently it does. So like Japanese is a
really
very
does.
complex language.
Well, it's the sound of it too, right? Because they put there's more than just the type of language and the way that they're speaking, because Japan is honorifics and such as well, right? But
Yeah.
the presentation of someone's outer face whenever they're communicating is really important for the pushing of a character.
Yeah, no, you can't. And that's another thing. Like people say, use AI. ChatGPT can do a pretty good job translating to many languages.
Yeah.
Japanese is not one of them.
Yeah, the whole thing with Japanese is we can't use vernacular speech, right? We can't translate one-to-one to Japanese and then make it feel like good porn writing. in
It's not about the porn
We
writing, because
need-
like most of the game, believe it or not, actually has a story
Yeah,
and it's not
but we-
pornographic.
But you want
like
to
that-
bring
that's not even
context
the
into
issue.
it, how they're communicating and shit, right?
Yeah, like just talking with Japanese people using ChatGPT, you will notice that
Yeah.
it's
But-
it's not there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, when I say porn writing, right, you take a look, like if you go on DL's site, you go download any of the games, and you take a look at the Japanese text, or even the properly translated ones that are brought from, like, say you take the Succubus Academia translation, and you read it, it has a feel, right? Whenever you're writing an H game, you really use just standard dialogue. Even if you're writing just the normal bits, you're always kind of leaning into a certain type of writing, right? Just like in English, when you're writing and you want to do the more juicy stuff, you kind of write into a system called
No,
Blue
I know
Prose.
what you mean,
Right.
but like I'm not even talking about that. Like I'm talking like normal speech. You want to communicate with a Japanese person and you want to use ChatGPT, the Japanese person is going to laugh at you. Like it's
Yeah,
yeah. It's going to be very obvious that it's like me no speaking English.
Yeah, very much so.
But anyway, right? So this was pretty much everything that happened this week. If you have any other news, or you want to talk about something else.
Well, I can't be. In 3 minutes, I got my game. I got to run. And yes, Dragon Slayer Ornstein is indeed making.
Yeah,
a
no,
game.
we're
Check
not
out
we're
his
not
Twitter.
yeah we're not talking about it on YouTube because
Yeah, we don't talk about it on YouTube, but check out his Twitter, man. Check out his Twitter.
yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ars, for being here and co-hosting, and good luck with your game.
My
And
pleasure.
we'll see each other again next week. Take care.
Hey, peace, everyone.